PRC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Thursday, the 28th day of May. James Spann here. Active convection for the eastern side of the state this afternoon, but after today, things get awfully quiet. And are you kidding me? A tropical depression in the preseason here. Let's get right to some of the Skycam shots on this very active weather afternoon. That's the view coming from the Inverness Skycam. That's looking off to the southeast from the Wingate Inn, and you can see those big towers developing, those towering cumulus clouds, and inevitably a number of those will develop into thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, Birmingham looking north, you can see the clouds not as developed. Dry air is moving in from the west. The winds are veering into the west, so for areas west of Interstate 65, they could be dry this evening. And down in Demopolis, again, the cumulus feel not as impressive there as they are beginning to get in that low-level westerly flow. So certainly areas along and west of US 43 will likely stay dry this evening, but East Alabama could see some big storms. There's the upper trough that's driving a surface boundary through here, and that should provide a nice series of dry days, a chance to dry out after all this rain. Here's a peek at the radar at 2:19, and you can see most of the active convection is indeed east of Interstate 65. Some of the stronger storms in Etowah County around Gadsden, one up in DeKalb County, up around Mentone on top of Lookout Mountain, and others scattered from Heflin all the way down to Tuskegee. And those will ultimately move over into Georgia. There's a look at the instability values in the low-level surface wind flow, and you can see how the higher capes are clearly on the eastern side of the state. And note how the winds are now westerly about as far east as Tuscaloosa, Muscle Shoals, Mobile. And as the wind veers to the west, that will pretty much end the rain opportunity for a while. So again, the focus for the rest of this afternoon will be on areas east of I-65. There's the supercell composite parameter. And as of 2 o'clock, the maximum values are from near Marion up to about Chattanooga, Tennessee. And that will be shifting eastward with time. And there's the day one convective outlook. And you can see that slight risk of severe weather really along and east of the wind shift line. And again, the core severe weather threat will be over the eastern part of the state. Don't expect any tornadoes. The winds are relatively light here, just the possibility of maybe some hail and strong winds. And there's the QPF chart, and boy, does that look different. All of a sudden, we're in the dry zone there. This is valid through Tuesday morning of next week, and this is suggesting really nothing after tonight. And by golly, I think that's probably right. And look here, tropical depression number 1. A little tight low that has been off the Atlantic coast has acquired warm core characteristics and was upgraded this morning by the National Hurricane Center. It's east of Chesapeake Bay, and it's no threat to land. It will be moving northeast into the open Atlantic. The official forecast here brings it up to tropical storm status tonight. Tropical Storm Anna would be the name. And then it weakens back into a subtropical type depression over the weekend up in the colder water of the North Atlantic. But looks like we'll get us a preseason storm this year. The official season, if you will, begins on the 1st of June. Here's the modeling. This is the 12Z GFS valid at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Nice trough over the east. Down below that, dry air takes over. We think the day will be dry. I guess you might mention a slight chance of a shower, but the chance of any one spot getting wet, only in the 10% bracket. Saturday, dry and warm. Low humidity will start the day in the upper 50s, wind up in the mid-80s. Sunday, the same deal, upper 80s likely, but again, the humidity will stay fairly low, making the warmth pretty comfortable. And Monday of next week, a little patch of green up in the northeastern corner, but for now we're not going to mention any significant chance of rain as the air stays relatively dry. Let's go through the rest of next week. There's a look at Tuesday, and again, the moisture begins to increase, so there could be a shower in spots Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday, the same deal. Very typical early June weather, some risk of scattered afternoon storms, and the same thing on Thursday of next week. If anything, the moisture is deeper on Thursday as we kind of get back into the muggy air. And at the end of the forecast on June the 13th, boy, that looks like June 13th. Ridging down here. Nothing especially strong, but the winds aloft are light and variable. The polar westerlies are up north. Strong trough over Hudson Bay. But that looks pretty quiet, if this happens to be correct, as we continue to kind of phase out of the tornado season and get into the summer season here. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog, the next video by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 5, 6, and 10. Again, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.